Joining us at this moment is Meghalaya's Chief Minister, Mr. Conrad Sangma. Mr. Sangma, thanks a lot for your time. You're very busy. This is an election year, but in this election year, you are focusing more on governance. And Meghalaya has perhaps surprised many across the country when Meghalaya in 2019 had 0.7% coverage of tap drinking water, and now you have 73%. You are more than national average. How were you able to bring this change?
Well, of course, it has been a lot of hard work, and the team has worked very hard. And if you recall, we had had this discussion in 2018, and when you and others had asked me that what is going to be your, focus area. So I mentioned in my, reply that time that my focus area will be on delivering, and the fact that we should be able to implement properly, and the overall governance should improve. And therefore, that has always been the mantra with which we have followed. Today, it's not just in JJM from 0.75% in 2019 today to over 73-74% above national average. But in almost every scheme of Government of India, we have seen almost a 10-time, fold increase in the overall expenditures that are taking place in different schemes. So therefore, it's a lot of teamwork, as I said, a lot of focus on governance, a lot of monitoring, and definitely use of technology, and all of the aspects have really helped us. So yes, we are happy, but of course, a lot more needs to be done.
You're talking about technology. You have been one chief minister in the Northeast who has pushed in terms of implementation and integration of technology with the government schemes. You have launched one of its kind, CM Connect, which is a call center where people will log in their complaints, which will reach to you. Many would say you're copying other states, but it is beneficial for the people. How has Meghalaya benefited from the augmentation of technology in different schemes?
Yeah, technology, in fact, is a very crucial part of any organization, and definitely in today's world of governance also. The example you were mentioning about the CM Connect, which is actually the call center is only a front end, but there's a completely very large back end working to resolve these problems. There are tickets being raised, there are officers who have been appointed as nodal officers for that department, and there are tracking systems to track these complaints and how many days has it been since they've resolved it or not resolved it. And so all this is available on the dashboard with the click of a button to the chief minister and to other ministers and other officials. And hence it really allows us to bring everything on one platform, allows us to monitor it, and allows us to make people accountable for delivering or resolving the particular issue. So hence, like that, in many other projects also. Just today itself, again, we have come up with a new program which we call Invest Meghalaya Agency, where basically we are bringing in the entire investment program under one platform, under one application, and making it very easy for investors to come in, apply in a single window, which is much more tech savvy, and all the permissions to be granted in a specific timeline. And if the departments fail to do that, then it's deemed to be approved. So these kind of things are now helping us to really take things forward, and technology is a very important part of it.
It's an election year. NPP is a party from the Northeast, which is a national party. The 25 seats in Northeast seems to be very important this time. How do you see the Lok Sabha elections? What are your plans, your party's plan? And like previous elections, you are not going into an alliance with any party. In fact, there are your allies in your who are contesting against you in the elections. So how is it looking for you and for the party?
Yeah, normally, as I said, we always stick to our our policies, our vision, and our constitution, and go to the people with that. So yes, that's exactly how we plan to move forward, and we are now discussing with our different political leaders, different state units, on how we should move forward in the respective states. And definitely, as I said, and as you'd mentioned, that NPP has been a party that is focused on Northeast and indigenous issues, and we will stick with those concerns, and we'll move forward. And we will decide, as I said, when time is appropriate, We already have discussions, had discussions at different levels, but we'll take a final call soon.
But do you think that, with only 25 seats, Northeast would make more of a, there would be an importance of this region in terms of formation of the government or the next government which takes in charge?
No, it's difficult to say. I mean, obviously politics is very complicated, and especially in India, with so many regional aspects in the country today, so many other factors that are impacting elections. We can't say what will happen. But as I said, for the political party to look at, say, one election and try to decide on how we're going to move forward as a party based on election is not the best way to look at it. We are an organization, a party that has taken up issues for the Northeast. We will continue to do that. And elections will come, elections will go. We'll keep moving forward with our agenda and keep working for the people of the state as well as the region and the country as a whole. And I think that's the kind of mindset with which we should move forward. And of course, elections are an important part of a journey for any political party. But everything is not revolved around, say, one election. It's a process and it must continue.
Also, perhaps what would be in the minds of political party is the verdict at the Supreme Court on the electoral bonds. How do you see this judgment? Because you are a regional party and there has been criticism that it is national parties which have been benefiting out of the electoral bond and the regional parties have been kind of on the backstage on this.
No, the electoral reforms are an important part for any country, and funding in elections is been some issue that is always been of concern when it comes to India. So therefore, reforms need to take place. There needs to be a systematic way, structural way. Electoral bonds was one of those ways. I have not gone through the entire details of the judgment, why it was struck down or what were the concerns in it. But there has to be a proper systematic way. Otherwise, we'll never see, electioneering becoming, organized and proper transparency being maintained. So keeping all those factors in mind, we should have a more structured funding system. And electoral bonds were one of those ways in which it was trying to create that system in place. But as I said, I have not gone through the order, so I won't be able to comment on what were the reasons and why the Supreme Court has struck it down.
Also, there is a renewed focus in terms of center always saying that they're very serious about all the states of Northeast resolving the age-old border conflicts. You have very strong decisions being taken in terms of the international borders, like the FMR with Myanmar being cancelled. You being a leader who is seen as the voice from Northeast, how do you see all this development ahead of the elections?
No, it's important that different issues and concerns of the Northeast must be addressed, and and whatever helps the overall situation here in the Northeast, and whatever allows things to move forward economically for the people, keeping in mind, of course, our indigenous identity and other important aspects of culture. These kind of things are, of course, welcome, and there has been a lot of stress, as you mentioned, on the Northeast, and we've always believed that development has been a very big factor which has been missing in the Northeast for a long time, for whatever reasons. I'm not blaming anybody, but in the last many years we've seen that movement really pick up. And as Chief Minister here for 6 years now, I have direct, of course, relationship and working closely with Government of India. And we have seen that in this current regime, a lot of support is given to the Northeast. And if you are able to perform, then you get more support. And hence, it's not that you just keep getting and you don't end up delivering or executing. So you have to execute, you have to deliver, you have to be efficient, you have to be professional. And if you are able to do that, then Government of India is there to support in a bigger manner. So we have seen a lot of change, and I hope that the same momentum continues. And if that happens, I'm sure that we will see even the Northeast, being able to really compete, I should say, in a positive way with the rest of the states in the country.
One last question. You have been one of the oldest and perhaps one of the most trusted ally of the BJP in the NDA formation for years together. But when it comes to elections, you have always fought against your NDA allies. You'll be going solo this time as well. In Meghalaya, you are planning to contest some other states as well. On the other hand, you have the India bloc. How do you see the opposition? How do you see the NDA alliance in Northeast?
You see, we have a very different situation when it comes to assembly elections, especially in our states. And that's because the elections are very individual-centric to a large extent. These are smaller constituencies. And hence, sometimes say if an alliance is there, it's not necessary that the votes of a certain political party can be transferred to the other alliance partners, votes. Hence, the dynamics under which seat sharing takes place, maybe say in a different part of the country, need not be relevant or work here. And hence, those dynamics also need to be considered. And hence, we've always gone in a friendly way, keeping those factors in mind, keeping the local conditions in mind. We have gone with those factors and those understandings in a friendly way with all the coalition partners. It's not just NDA, BJP, but all our coalition partners. We contested against each other in a friendly manner. And we had this soft understanding before the election that, look, whatever the situation is, let us do this because our conditions are different. And post-election, we will sit down and we'll work out how to move forward. So we did that time also, and it was with a very broad understanding with everybody. So we will see how things happen in this election also, and depending on the situation and depending on the overall political scenario, we'll take a decision.
Thanks a lot for talking to us. So there you are, Meghalaya Chief Minister Conrad Sangma, clearly saying that his party, National People's Party, the only national party from Northeast, is once again going to contest the ensuing Lok Sabha elections of its own, like they have done in past. And they say that they're going to bring to the people the development that they have done in Meghalaya in the last 6 years. However, he admits that there has been a strong support from the centre as well. In Shillong with Nakul Rabha, Ratndeep Chaudhary for NDTV.